I discovered why nobody cares about my videos. It's because I was being a fake perfectionist. And honestly, perfectionism can be considered a mental illness under the right circumstances, especially if it leads to like an eating disorder or some like high anxiety problems. The truth of the matter is, no one really wants perfect videos. After all, AI exists as a perfect tool to make perfect content, but AI also has a reputation that speaks all for itself. So the reality of things is that people don't want perfect content. They don't want this polished, perfect thing because it feels unnatural and unappealing and just really alienates your audience. What people really want is genuine content from a real person that they can relate to and gives them actual value. The biggest thing that you can offer your audience is value, and that's what we need to focus on right here and how to provide that to your audience. So I started my content creation journey out in 2019, and at the time I had just freshly played Life is Strange 2, which is like the biggest thing to me. Like, I love that game. Still one of my favorite games of all time, has an incredible story, and as a writer myself, I can appreciate the points that they bring out in the story. I could rant on for hours about that game. In fact, I have if you dive down into the depths of my channel. But that is where this little seedling started for me. It was a space for me to talk about and express my love for Life is Strange. So this content platform of mine really started out as a passion project, and I was totally fine with that. I was putting out my videos and I was sharing my passion and my appreciation, my love for this particular game, and it was all fun and games, and it was moderately successful enough. I averaged about 200 to 300 videos on any given, 200 to 300 views on any given video, and that's saying a lot because I still am not consistently hitting those numbers right now. It was a good feeling and it was a great place to start, but as I feel like the natural progression of YouTube kind of sinks in on any creator, I was like, hey, I'm enjoying this, I'm doing this, I'm making something out of it. I want to start like being able to get paid from this passion of mine, because like we live in a world that's very expensive and money's not going anywhere anytime soon. So if I can leverage this to be like a side hustle, I don't expect it to replace my 9-to-5, but if it can be like a solid second job, then that's pretty good, because like I honestly enjoy doing it, and how nice would it be to just make a couple $100 while doing it? And so I really kind of doubled down and dedicated that channel to the Life is Strange content. I started doing a lot more video essays on it. I started to really analyze it and really push it out there. But it wasn't kind of gaining the steam that I wanted and or needed at the time. And so I was like, okay, I think it's time to pivot. Like any good business person will do, when something isn't working, you know that you got to pivot into the next thing and do so before the losses get substantial. And so that was kind of the next natural step of mine. And the initial pivot away from Life is Strange content is really what started the downward spiral of me on that channel, because I really didn't have a clear direction. Like I knew I needed to pivot, but I didn't know how to or where to go from there. And so again, as I mentioned before, I'm a writer. I've got 6 novels published. So I was like, okay, let's try making writing content. Let's try adding value to my audience in that regard. And I didn't fully understand the concept of adding value to an audience at that point in time. I was really literally just pivoting into something that I thought I could be successful in, because I felt I was an authority in that concept. And let me be the first to tell you, those videos absolutely tanked. They stunk worse than like you could ever imagine. They stunk worse than your trash on like an 80-degree day. So it was pretty bad. And I acknowledged that. And so I took that and I was like, this isn't working. And I pivoted again. And I just kept pivoting into random things and really did not have any sort of focus on the content for a very long time, until I eventually landed on my 24/365 challenge. So I started YouTubing in 2019, 2024, some 5 years later, finally landed on something that I was going to do consistently. Because I had just been inspired by the likes of Sam Sulek and the Dry Creek Wrangler School. I was like, okay, this is going to be my in. These people aren't doing any editing, so I got all the time in the world to just pump out and make content, and people are going to love it because that's what the world wants right now. And again, absolute stinker, absolute flop, nobody cared. And I could look back and kind of understand at the time, because I was like, I don't even watch these videos. Like, if I, the creator, don't even watch them, like, how could I expect other people to want to watch them? And so that was when the gears started spinning. I was like, I need a clear direction here. I need a clearer picture, and I need to figure out, at the time, I didn't know this, but I needed to figure out how to create value for my audience. The ugly thing that a lot of creatives struggle with is the balance between creativity and business. And the honest thing is like, you are a creative and you want to be able to create, and that's wonderful. But if you ever want to make money from your creative adventures, then you have to get into the business side of things to try and make money of something and also be like way foo-foo creative about it. It's just not a combination that ever ends well. And like, the very fact that you're trying to make money from this creative project means that you're trying to start a business, as much as you might try and pretend otherwise. And business has this ugly, yucky reputation of it. Business is like the politics of creative pursuit. And that's why like everyone just avoids it, and they're like, no, I'm just here for the love. I love creating, and that's why I'm here. And you can absolutely love creating and still leverage it and make money off of it. And that is, I feel like, the quintessential step that most people miss when trying to go out and turn what was a passion project into a business. They don't understand how to leverage the two. And every successful business solves at least one problem for their client base. And they create value for their client base by solving that one essential problem. And so that is what all businesses and all thoughts and theories need to come back to when you're trying to create something that you want to leverage and make money off of. And like, that value or that problem for something that's purely creative and purely entertainment, like, the value you provide your viewer is entertainment. The idea that they can go home, flip on your TV show, and they can just veg out and not think about the stressful day they just had at work, not think about how their kids are sick and the health bills are gonna like send them down under the ground, not think about the horrible things that their wife just did, or whatever is bogging you down in life. If you are providing entertainment, you are providing an escape, and that is an incredibly valuable thing. And that's a lot of what artists don't realize or refuse to realize or try to avoid realizing because, ooh, business, yuck. But at the same time, like, the value that you create is valuable, and you have to understand that, and that is why people want it. Entertainment is a hard thing to do. Entertainment is a very difficult field to stand out in. All fields are difficult to stand out in, but entertainment especially so, especially in the modern market. Social media makes exposure all the easier, but that's a double-edged sword. It's a lot easier for you to be seen by people, but there's also 500,000 more people out there in the world now doing what you are doing and are just as easy to find as you are. And so that is why that every space is flooded or whatever. That's what brought me to where I am today with this channel. And I reached out for official content coaching to try and figure out, like, okay, how can I provide value for my audience? What can I provide that my audience needs that I can give them in my own unique way? And through that coaching program, I was able to settle with like a productivity niche, because I myself feel that I am a very productive individual. I have some very strong accolades in that regards. I wrote an entire 72,324 word novel in just 9 days, all while working 2 jobs, 65 hours a week, and building my house on weekends. And I mean physically with my own hands building that house on weekends. So I have a leg up and an unfair advantage, as they like to call it, on the competition in my own life experiences. And then I was able to leverage the coaching program to understand how I could create value for people online, and how me being able to create value is what's going to leverage this platform in a way that then creates value for me in the form of a supplemental income. And so reining it in, bringing it all back, it comes down to finding that value proposition. What can you provide your audience, and how can you provide it to your audience in a very unique way? Again, I'll just use my own as an example. What can I provide to my audience? I'm a highly productive individual, and I can show you the ways that I am productive and how I'm able to be productive and also still have fun. Like, I still play 600 hours of video games a year, if not more, all while being this productive, awesome version of myself. And it is that unique value proposition that I provide. And find that for yourself. Again, if you're an entertainer, like, you're that escape. You're that person, you're that thing that someone turns on the TV as soon as they get home because they don't want to think about the stressors of the world. And what makes your show unique is that it's 3D pop art that's made from paper. I don't know, but find your thing, find the value that it gives to the people, find how it does that value in a unique way, and lean into it. And that is the pivotal step that you need to take to turn your passion project into a successful value add project that will build your brand. And that is ultimately what you need to do here, if that's your goal. If you're on YouTube as just a passionate creative and you don't care about anything else other than just getting your voice out there and getting heard, then by golly, just keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to take that next step to make it something that creates and can support you, then you need to find a way to add value to other people so that they find value in your content, and then your content can provide value through you vicariously through them. Isn't that confusing? But yes, so this has been the video. Appreciate you all for stopping by. Per the usual, I have my books. They're available on Amazon. I have my own animation here on YouTube. If you were to check that out, that would be awesome. I have more videos on this channel that are all about productivity and being an awesome, productive individual. If you check any of that stuff out, that would be absolutely delicious. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.